Hello there. So I just came across this tweet from the Rwanda government communication, and they're saying that Rwanda regrets unilateral border closure by Burundi. So in the article, basically, they are saying that the Rwanda has learned through media reports of the unilateral decision by the government of Burundi to gain across it to again close its borders with Rwanda. So the reason why they're saying to again close is because not long ago, this border had been closed for close to 8 years. So what happened at the time? In 2015, Rwanda was training these rebel groups and they armed them and they sent them to Burundi. So actually, they waited for the Burundi president to go to Tanzania for a certain meeting. So when he left the country, that's when they decided to strike, and they took the capital Bujumbura, which is closer to Rwanda, by the way. It is on the northwestern end of Burundi. It is closer to Congo and the Rwandan borders. So Bujumbura was taken, and there was a lot of fighting. Close to 10,000 people died, and the Burundi government repressed that coup. But then all those elements who are in that coup, they closed the border into Rwanda. They flew back. They basically escaped back to Rwanda, and that's when Burundi realized Rwanda had sent them, because some of them, the ones that were killed, they had Rwandan IDs, and then that's when they discovered the secret. And the other thing you need to know is that the closing that border between Burundi and Rwanda is so painful and catastrophic, because Rwanda and Burundi were one country not long ago. And the languages spoken in those countries actually is what we call mutual intelligible languages. In other words, a Rwandan and a Burundi will easily understand each other without too much effort. As a matter of fact, if a Burundi turns on a Rwandan TV during news, they are able to understand everything on that television, on the news. And the opposite, if a Rwandan turns on or tunes into Burundi television, they understand everything. So that's how close they are, very close people. So on their borders, there are families that have family members on Burundi side and family members on the other side of Rwanda. In other words, it's like if they close the border, the border, it's like they're saying, if your grandmother lives on the Rwandan side, you're not going to visit your grandmother. You might even hear that she's dead. You can't cross the border to go and bury her. Of course, there are alternatives, which means you can cross into Congo, and then from Congo you can enter Rwanda. But then there's another problem. The Congo border is also closed today. So the Congo border with Rwanda, the land border, was closed from June last year in 2023 because of the incursion by Rwandan rebels or Rwandan trained rebels into Congo. That is the M23, including Rwandan soldiers. I keep saying that. So that is also closed. So imagine a Burundi guy may not visit their grandmother even by using a shortcut of going through Congo and then back to Rwanda. You can't do that because even the Congo side border is closed. So then the Burundi people are left to go to Tanzania and trying to enter Rwanda through Rusumo, which is a long way and maybe not practical. But on business, when you talk of business, the Burundi people are more agricultural than Rwandans. And a lot of beans and cereals that are consumed in Rwanda actually come from Burundi when you talk of the southern province of Rwanda, which is hilly and not so productive in relation if you compare it to Burundi. So they're going to kind of starve, And when I say these things, a lot of people come to the comment section saying that, you know what, you are so obsessed with Rwanda, blah, blah, blah. But tell me, a country in the world that is surrounded by 4 countries, and this country is landlocked, that sometimes gets its borders closed by its neighbors to a certain point that 3 countries had closed their borders at the same time. So you find Uganda had closed their border from 2019 up until last year. They were accusing Rwanda of sending their intelligence and their special police forces to Uganda to assassinate Rwandan opposition members who live in Uganda. There are these Rwandans who, escaped Rwanda, dissidents, that's what they call them. And they go to Uganda and they live there. And then the Rwandan, special force would pursue them there and assassinate them. So Uganda was not happy, always finding bodies on its streets of dead Rwandan journalists, dead Rwandan dissidents, and Rwandan bloggers. So they were not happy and they closed the border for 2 years, almost 3. And now we have 2 of them currently closed, the Congo one and the Burundi one. And not long ago, there's the president of Tanzania, Jakaya Kikwete. He told Paul Kagame to talk to the rebels that left Rwanda and went to Congo so that he can stop calling them a threat to Rwanda. He told Paul Kagame to call those FDLR and the Hutu rebels to negotiate with him. The same way Paul Kagame keeps talking to Congo, saying that they need to talk to M23 rebels. Paul Kagame got angry. He said that he can even invade Tanzania. And Tanzania, in response, actually closed the border between Rwanda and Tanzania. The border is a certain road that crosses a bridge on this river called Kagera. And the bridge is called Rusumo because I think of the waterfall there. And they closed that border, the only border that enters Rwanda from Tanzania, Rusumo border, for 3 years. It was President Magufuli who reopened it not long ago in 2019, I guess. So imagine a scenario where you find that Rwanda has or ends up having all their 4 borders, the one in Uganda, if they are not careful, and the one now in Congo, which is actually closed as I make this video, and now this one in Burundi, and then the Tanzanian one closed, and then these countries also decide to close their airspace, such that nothing can get out of Rwanda or get in, whether via road or through the air. Such a scenario would be devastating to the people of Rwanda. But knowing the regime there, it's something that is possible. It's something that is possible because all these 4 countries actually, they closed their borders for the same reasons. Insecurity that is originating from Rwanda. They say, Rwanda, you are sending your police special force to Uganda to assassinate people who have asylum in Uganda. Why are you coming to our country to murder people? And then Tanzania says, you are threatening us with guns. And Burundi says, you are training rebels and sending them to Burundi, the Red Tabara guys, And Congo definitely says, you're sending your troops, saying that they are M23 rebels. Stop sending your troops to Congo, things like that. So it's possible. And that's kind of a scenario is something that is possible. And then you ask yourself, why is Rwanda then doing this? And why are they building these resorts to attract European tourists and then come back and try to destabilize their chances of these people coming into that country?